God. That's 7. You need 3 more. Get your whole squad.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Dallas Cowboys. As we get underway. Now it's Wilson. And they finally get to him, but not before he's past the 45 to the 46-yard line.
That return gives him a golden opportunity to go out in front. How will the defense respond after giving up that type of a return?
Here's Leonard Fournette, 1,000-yard rusher from a year ago. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys who got 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run.
Remember, if you rush into a big crowd, it's clear.
Measuring stick. Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
He was the first one for the power to get to your head.
On second down, here's Fournette, and he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves him with a 3rd and 3.
Imagine if they had like made something like this, where they had 2 swords, and one was good and one was evil, and the only person like
up the D lineman to make the play.
Yeah, like. I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh wait, yeah. So basically, they have the blue sword, and they have the yellow sword, and they have the yellow sword or red sword, and like y'all go at each other.
First quarter, first drive, first interception.
And that last one, that hurts. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 40. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line.
You just hitting stuff to the same stuff, right?
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now Watson. Oh, the ball is
Let's go. What if he got sniped?
And his guys will take over at the 30-yard
What a heavy circle. Oh, unless they took it out.
Running backs in the backfield to help pass protect. All the receivers in their patterns. These are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Eluding the pressure right. And he works free. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10.
Go to Turkey if you're not scared.
You can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain. A first opportunity in the red zone for the Cowboys. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. Fournette on the counter. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line.
You're dead.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Oh, my son is a build master. My son is a build master.
Let's throw that shit.
They stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game.
My son know how to build.
Working now, they turn to 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
The pitch to Fournette. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
They'll try to punch it in with Fournette. Nifty move. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
Fire Blaze, Infinity Blaze. This is the second one?
And the Cowboys have taken the early
yes, this is the second one, because I just seen it popped up.
Where?
I just seen it popped up on the thing.
Where?
I swear to God. It popped up. I swear it popped up.
Where it popped up at, bro?
It has to be a second one.
Where, bro? You see that?
It said phase something.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Heading out as the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points.
Don't die.
They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it back and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
A big hit to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
You see that?
On 1st down, it's Watson. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that's what we like to see.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. To throw on 2nd is Watson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown.
He's a balloon, that's why.
That's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
That's another one.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
It's coming now.
Prescott on 1st down. And he's got Cooper on the out route. That's complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do in that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside. Now that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Last week, of course, the great performance, over 200 yards. He still wants to be fed.
And they should. That's exactly what you should do. I have not yet met a running back.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great effort there. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Texans set to come onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game. And typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They'll run with a rookie. It's Boston Scott. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big...
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it, and the Cowboys have recovered. Some guys just have a knack for creating turnovers. He's got a little bit of that going. He forced a fumble last week, another one there.
And it just drives teams crazy because they realize that certain guys, as you said, have that knack, and they're trying to keep them away from the action, away from the ball. But the best ones have that overwhelming desire, that overwhelming need to get to the football and make it happen, and that he does.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. 3 catches last week. He's got 3 in the first quarter here tonight. A pretty sizable deficit here in the first quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make the play. Let's get off the field.
And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. A great play there. Doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Cowboys will extend.
Yes!
And he'll bang that one through.
And put him where?
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
No! I
and
don't.
That'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3 and out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything.
Yo. Because you know where I left. I don't know if he added it back. Yeah, like I left an accident. Like, oh, I glitched. I'm right now.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. A shotgun snap for Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First catch of the game for Hopkins. It's a first down. On 1st and 10, Watson. And that is incomplete.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Throwing again on 2nd and 10, Watson. And he'll find QT on the right side complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Okay.
On 1st down, Scott. They find some open field here. Still fighting for more. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Love the run right there. And when you analyzed him coming out of college, when you tried to put a grade on him, you saw the flashes while he was in school, but you didn't see the full production. You didn't see the finished product. He's a little bit raw, but you can see why people liked it. Those types of runs make you think there's plenty more there, and we'll see if that continues for him.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Black 22! Black 22!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Richmond!
3rd and 2, Watson. Try to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on 1st down. That's what they talk about us all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of skip.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Whitney Merciless in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
26. 26.
And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And he'll take this one up to about the 6-yard line. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Reset.
Back to the air, Watson on 2nd down. Over the middle, complete. That's Griffin. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. They'll run on 1st down. Scott. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They'll try and run for it with Miller. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Texans get a bit closer. Solid job up front, really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
That was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run, end result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Prescott looks to throw on first. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. DJ Reader in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They'll run it now out of the gun. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. He's able to get 4 back on the run, but now they'll have to find something here on 3rd and about 14. Prescott from the gun. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fielded at the 43. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Watson on 1st down. They fights him off. Step buddy can't get away forever, and down he goes. Malik Collins forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now it's Watson. And pressure gets to him again. And now a timeout called by the Cowboys defense as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Going to need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? From the gun, here's Watson. And he'll go down at the 28. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. Kaimi Fairbairn now to attempt the Texan field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And now here come the Cowboys. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Looking to throw. Prescott flushed out right. And he'll get that to Fournette, complete. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. First down, Prescott. We're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this is
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
It's just been one mistake after another on the offensive side of the ball. That's now 3 interceptions to go along with 2 fumbles for him. And if you're going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game, your chances to win have to be about 100 to 1. And it's not looking good for him here.
Now Leonard Fournette. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Again, it's Fournette. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. He finds Hearns left side. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And that will extend their lead even further. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field. But they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Play action from Miller. Now Watson. Throw left side complete. It's Griffin. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Watson now 11 of 17 passing thus far. He's got his guys a 1st and 10. Watson. Flush to his right, and that is incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. On 2nd and 10, Watson eluding the pressure right. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Sean Lee able to get in there and drop him behind the line. Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
Come back, come back.
Back to throw, Watson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Griffin. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. So he needed the short yardage, Charles. He elected to try to bounce it outside of the outer third, unsuccessful.
Sometimes those plays are stacked up by the defense, and there's nowhere to go, so you have to bounce it outside. And some backs just get impatient. They want to go to where they think there's more open territory instead of going where the play was actually blocked. In any case, it didn't work here.
Throwing, Prescott. He's going to air one out. All incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that, first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
He'll check this one off to Fournette. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. But he's got it to Hearns. A very solid gain of 27. Fournette, a first down carry. Room to run inside the 40. A big run there, 29 yards and a first.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw down that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. Remember at the outset, you talked about the key being keeping him under 100 yards. Well, he's over 100 now. We're in the third quarter.
So that has happened, right? So that goal's gone. Can they bottle him up the rest of the way? They'll need to do so if they want to try and win this one.
That's complete right around the 8. A Dallas first down. Prescott hooking up with Beasley.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now a carry for the big fella. This is Jameis Olawale. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Jameis Olawale, his second touchdown on the season. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Watson now to throw. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Here's Watson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 45. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Back now in Houston. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. On 1st down, Watson. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. After the penalty, it's Miller. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and 10.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
To throw on second is Watson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. On third down, Miller. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a fourth down.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
Desperation time. Watson on fourth down. He may try and run for this. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on fourth. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out here in midfield, you feel good about your defense, maybe.
Oh, my
God. But how about the guys that just stopped it? How good do they feel right now?
My God.
We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. They'll run it with Olawale. And he is mad.
Why is this nigga running for
it? And he goes down right there. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. And for the 2nd time tonight, his field goal unit comes out here. He connected on his first, this from 41. And his kick is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying,
wow, how did you hear that?
Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here.
That's crazy.
I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They'll run it again with Miller. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
The Texans on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
On 3rd down, that's Miller. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Reset.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Taco Charlton in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Flash those fast feet, but they'll drop him at the 5-yard line as he can't get any closer to the end zone. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. They come out here in the eye.
Yo, this chat.
No, bottled up.
This chat here, yo.
It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. On 3rd down, it's Murphy. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Well, the offense, they got the ball in a great spot, but they went nowhere. Forced him to take just the 3.
And they'll be, happy taking the 3. But those guys on the other side, they've got to be ecstatic. They didn't let them get anywhere. It made them kick a field goal. That almost feels like they got the advantage, doesn't it?
And now out comes Houston. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 7 yards.
You told it.
It'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of
You
the
make me
sticks,
want to get on my
whatever you
team.
wanna call it,
I'm not going to
7
do that.
yards on 1st down. That
Make
fits
me
the
want to get
bill.
on my team, but I'm not going to do that.
Again, it's Miller. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons...
No way.
Miller, the 30, 10. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the first. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on 3rd down. Doesn't matter how far they need for a 1st down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it. And as you said, picked up the 1st down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything. All the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. They have the big cushion. Here in the final stages of this one, I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about all the preparation that went into it. When they first started talking about this game, leading up to it during the week, going on the road, unfamiliar city, obviously, unfamiliar hotel. No one's going to be with you once you get to the stadium. They're all going to be against you. You name it, all those things they had to deal with, they were able to conquer them and do it convincingly.
Yeah, they did it very convincingly, and now the final moments of this one. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes.